Welcome to the Insane Gorillas podcast. This week we are talking about the movie Train to Busan, a zombie film, a South Korean zombie film, and debatably, I'd say one of the best zombie films I've ever seen. So that's what we're going to talk about this week. I've got Austin on. Ty's
Yo.
doing something else. So let's get into it. Um,
Uh,
you go ahead and start. I'm trying to think of what
all
I want to
right.
talk about.
Yeah. No, you know, uh, zombie flicks, all of them are like pretty like, you what's cliche, right? Like, just a bunch of random shits happening or whatever. Oh, that's really nice. Look at the lighting. It just fucking, it's awesome. But, the, what was I saying? Oh, the bunch of cliches, right? And, it's what's the word? Very whenever I see a zombie movie, I already know what's gonna happen, right? Like it's like there's a pretty
Predictable.
similar path that like yeah, predictable. That's what I was looking for. Yeah. So I was sitting there, I was like, okay, it's probably gonna, we're gonna watch it. It's gonna be a zombie movie. Hold on, let me think of some zombie movies here. Okay, I got a couple, and I'm sitting there, I'm just like, okay, there's probably gonna be like we're gonna get connected with a character. We're gonna lose the character, right?
Hmm.
And pretty much that's what they did. But I don't know about I don't want to say that this one was like predictable. Like I saw it coming, but like I wanna say that this one like I actually connected with this one. This one was actually like one that like grabbed me by my like heart, right? There was a lot of symbolism, a lot of lessons taught throughout the zombie movie. Most zombie movies are just action packed and shit like that. Like this zombie movie gave me like Warm Bodies. I think that's the movie. That's what it's called, Warm Bodies vibe.
The romance. It's the romantic
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Hmm.
What I really like about this one, usually zombie movies focus more on the kills than they do the characters, I think. And this one
Yeah.
focused on the characters. So you have your
Oh yeah.
typical the dad who's like I care more about my work than I care about my children and family. And
Hmm.
that's it revolves around the relationship between him and his daughter. The daughter wants to go see the
Yeah.
mom. So they take a train to Busan because she lives in Busan. Um, and then you
Yeah.
also got other relationships. You got the pregnant wife that's
Mm.
married to this super. He's a Hulk in the movie. He's straight up a badass.
Yeah.
He's my favorite character actually. I think for
Yeah.
this
No,
movie
he was my favorite too. I was sitting there. I'm like, as soon as I saw him enter the screen, I'm like, all right, big man, this guy's gonna fuck some shit up.
exactly how I
I'm gonna
felt.
go fucking
It's
pull up my plans
especially
real quick for
funny
better
when
lighting.
It's especially funny when he slams the zombie up against the ceiling and in the train car when they're trying to get through. I think it's when they're trying to get back to the train car
Yeah,
they
yeah,
were
yeah.
in, and he straight up like slams zombies against the roof, and he's not afraid to punch them. The business guy has a shield. But let's go ahead and get on one of the things I really, because these characters are straight up stupid sometimes. They're really stupid.
Yeah.
So
Always
one
gotta have
thing
them in
that
some
really
movies.
bothered me throughout the entire movie is that they make these duct tape gauntlets.
Yep. You saw that.
They end up taking them off. They don't.
Yeah.
There's no reason to take them off because you don't know
Right.
you're not in the clear yet, and that
Right.
could have saved the dad at the end. You do realize
Mm-hmm.
that he puts the gauntlet up to the zombie's mouth and does that. He's biting on the gauntlet instead of his hand.
Mm-hmm.
That would
Yeah.
That's what bothered me the entire time. Why'd you take them off? But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I get if you want to feel comfortable, but feel comfortable and safe when you get in like
And
to
yeah,
a
and
safe
safety.
point.
Right.
But
Yeah, no, when that scene was happening and I was sitting there, that like you said, that's your favorite character. That was my favorite character. I'm like, he's God, man. It's fuck. The fucking that one scene though, where they were trying to get into that train car, but that old like businessman like bastard wasn't letting him in because he's like our main character who's just like super selfish, right? But our main character learns that like it's not all about him, right? He becomes more self-aware and uh uh sympathizes more with people's in their other situations, which was really nice. I'm glad that he learned that. But the scene where the zombies were in like so they let him in and they're like, okay, you got to go to the vestibule, right? Or you got to go, or you got to
The
go to like the next
vestibule,
train car.
like
Yeah.
the in between.
Yeah, they're like, "Hey, you gotta go there," and then that old lady that like saw her sister or whatever just went over there and opened the door. I was just like, "Oh!" And then you know what? I was sitting there and fucking later when I saw that the porta potty door or fucking not porta potty, but like a toilet on a train, right?
Hmm.
When I saw it closed, now I was sitting there. I'm like that fucking bastard lived, didn't he? And then you see him in the fucking one of the like the train staff and then fucking he betrays him, and I was sitting there just like I'm like, bro, you should have expected it at this point, because this guy is not he is priority number one is himself.
Yeah, that got me. I was so angry with him, but he kind of got his
Mm.
comeuppance in a way.
Oh yeah.
Uh, but when he's running back and he's sacrificing all these people and he's pushing them in the way,
Oh my god.
especially the
Yeah.
teenage girl and the teenage guy, the baseball player, that
Yeah.
really got on my nerves. I was like, you're gonna do that to a young person who has so much more
More
life to live
like
after
yeah.
it. And
I was
then,
sitting there when he fucking threw the girl into the zombie. I'm like, somebody shoot this guy, bro.
yeah,
Somebody shoot this guy. Somebody bite him.
uh, especially what really gets on my nerves is when he sacrifices the conductor, the train conductor.
Yeah.
He doesn't know how
That
to
pissed
drive a train.
Right. I was in there, and when the train conductor was like, "Shit," I'm like, bro, stay in the train like engine, right? Don't go out there, because this guy literally just sacrificed like two people, pretty much three if you count the baseball boy player who stayed with the girl, right?
Hmm.
So he sacrificed three people. Two of them had their lives ahead of him. The third one was younger than him, so he still, he had his life ahead of him, right? And the train conductor, he seems like he's just a little bit older than that guy. But obviously, after the three people he sacrificed, we learned that this character is only looking out for himself, and he's gotten no moral repercussion, right, from what he's done. He's just like I gotta, because when he's in the train engine, and he comes out this door and he's like, I need to go see my mom in Busan, right?
Hmm.
And then that part got me a little bit. I was sitting there like, oh man, I was just trying to go see his mom. I mean, I understand. You still don't have to be a fucking like dickhead and like sacrifice people left and right. You can help them, you know. It's I understand like the whole concept of like some people being like, oh, survival of the fittest, right? But in such a situation, it is so much more productive and so much better to work together.
Yeah, which is funny because this his character kind of contrasts the development of the main character, the dad. The dad was a selfish
Mm,
businessman at the beginning and then was
yep.
judged for that the entire time. But
Yeah.
then this other guy who wasn't judged for the businessman takes over a group and then basically kind of sacrifices them all for himself to let himself live, which is the
Mm.
selfishness of the businessman, which is what the dad was originally called.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like it when technically when you are surviving, obviously, say zombie apocalypse, obviously you want to make sure that you don't get bit, and you're obviously your own priority, right? And so, it's a good strat, but it's not the best. It's like playing chess. You have your blunders and stuff, right? Then you have your good moves, you got better moves, and you have your best move. You know, the him sacrificing everybody, it's a better move. But if he had just cooperated and worked together, synergized with the people he was with, I guarantee everybody would have survived.
Well,
Almost guarantee it.
that gets me thinking also. Have you seen Snakes on a Plane? It's Samuel L.
No, I
Jackson. It's
haven't.
a horror movie about
No,
snakes on a plane. Well,
I
in
haven't,
Snakes on a Plane, they
unfortunately.
kind of follow the same sort of okay, we're gonna close ourselves off from the bad things, which the snakes are
Mm,
the bad things on that movie. But they do it pretty smart. Sometimes they think pretty I don't know. They're pretty smart sometimes. That's what I'm trying to say. Um,
Mm-hmm.
they stack up all the suitcases by the doors and stuff to keep them out. I kept
Mm-hmm.
thinking to myself, why don't you do that and then also get some distance between you and the zombies because you know they can break those doors down. So they're
Mm-hmm.
all right next to the car with all the zombies in them. They're not going to get some
Mm-hmm.
more distance. Like I'd say, okay, all the safe people to the vestibule and then let's
When
leave.
when that when that sorry, when that the dad of the pregnant woman, right? Like not the pregnant woman's dad, but the pregnant woman's like husband, right?
Yeah.
When he was like holding that door closed and asked the our main protagonist like how do you lock this thing, and he's just like it's okay, you can just let it go. I was uh, he's like I don't think they know how to work it. I was sitting there, I'm like letting if I were in that situation, I would not let that shit go. Cause, they might not know how to work it, but the fucking one of them might fucking accidentally like slam into the side of it and move it the other way, and then
Yeah.
fucking get their hand in there. Like, oh, I would absolutely not ever, never, ever would let that go. That is insane. They don't know how to work it. Just let it go, and then they let it go, and nothing happens. I'm like, surely, if they're like, because they weren't going like the zombies were going ballistic, but they weren't going super ballistic to where they were just like, just flailing around, which I'm sure would have opened the door.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that was a pretty dumb move that they could have like made a barricade or something there.
Well, another cool thing about this movie is that it changes the way zombies look. They look like normal people with with veins coming out, like they got
Mm,
black veins on their face. Usually, when you think of zombies, they're all messed up. There's jaws hanging off and parts falling
yeah.
off of them. These are like human beings that have gotten a virus, which is basically how the whole thing starts. They let
Mm,
in that one car, and then that car hits a deer, and then everything's kicked off, and it's like
right.
dominoes. Um, and that's I like how they look. I don't like the whole zombie. I think that like the jaws falling off and stuff. They kind of make the zombies a little more realistic. Um,
Mm-hmm.
which is pretty interesting because zombies don't really exist. Other than that, maybe that insect
Which is
that
pretty
can come back
interesting
to
because
life.
what you cut out there.
Yeah. Um.
Yeah. What?
What? You
Oh
go
god,
ahead.
Discord's lagging out.
Um. Can you hear me
You
right
said
now?
it was uh, yeah, now I can. Yeah, you're back. Yeah, I just lost connection. You said they something about realistic, the jaws like hanging off, right? What was that
No, I
about?
feel like these are more realistic zombies. I think because they're
Mm-hmm.
not they're not really undead per se. I don't
Mm-hmm.
we can't determine that really, but regular zombies you can say okay they're undead. Their jaws fall off and stuff. Um, that's I like that. Also, one thing that really gets me about this film is I was thinking, oh, this was made in like the early 2000s probably, but then if you look at the actual details on the movie, it came out in like 2016,
Yep.
which I thought was insane because I was thinking, oh wow, this came out early 2000s. It's a pretty good zombie film. And then I found out, nope, nope, not early
Nope.
2000s.
Not that
This is
early.
more
Yep.
more recent.
Yeah.
One of the things I also was thinking about the entire movie was, you know how moms will like say, "Oh, I carried you in my womb." I, I I
Yeah.
went through all those problems with you. The
Yeah.
mom who's pregnant, she has so much. Like, that kid's gonna have to be doing chores. I carried you through the apocalypse.
Yeah, right. No, I was sitting there. I thought you were gonna say, is that mom even pregnant? Because she's like running and shit. I'm sitting there. I'm like, this mom is a fucking like athlete, bro. How is she running right now? I
Well,
thought it was really cool when they were on the escalator scene. I was sitting there. I'm like, oh, Booby's got to figure out how to get the pregnant woman back up the escalator. They're gonna make her run like a track star again. And then fucking the husband picks her up and puts her over on the other side and then hops over and they start going up the stairs. I was sitting there. I'm like, okay, whatever.
yeah, but she straight up bolted up those stairs like an athlete
Yeah,
too.
right.
Uh,
I was sitting there. I'm like, goodness gracious. I'm like, this. Hopefully the baby comes out okay. A lot of movement.
yeah. I also think she's kind of a hindrance most of the time because you always got to think, like, if you're in the actual zombie thing, you got to determine who's going to be the strongest and who do you want to keep. Who do you want to keep? Who's
Hmm.
the most useful? Having
Right.
her is kind of dragging you behind.
Yep.
Having a kid also could be dragging you behind. Yet they're the two that
Mm.
survive.
Yeah. Yeah. Having a pregnant woman. Uh. So, right. Having a pregnant woman, having a kid. Although they might be dragging you behind, obviously in like a whole like apocalypse situation, obviously they're gonna have a sanctuary like they did at Busan, right? And I'm sure they're gonna have a bunch of militiamen, military men, and then gonna have a bunch of men from that town go out and you know forage for like food and supplies, and then they survivors, right? Because although women obviously it's really good that they make it because uh they won't be dragging anybody behind because they're gonna be safely inside. But once they have a kid, because in that situation, repopulation like up there first, like that stuff's got to happen because people are getting lost, dying left and right, and then having that kid grow up, right, and say they don't get in a relationship, say they don't get pregnant, they can go out and help fight the good fight, right, and find survivors and all that other stuff and supplies.
Yeah.
So although they're dragging as, but it is they it's like a package. They have to make it there. Everybody else can pretty much die, right? Because obviously they were like sitting there like, all right, the people with like the years ahead of them, a baby, and then a kid. These two have to make it, right?
Yeah. What is it? I don't have too many notes on this film because I thought all around you should just watch it and you can determine stuff yourself.
For
And it's
sure,
not
for sure.
super deep. It's not super
Mm-mm.
like we've talked about I Want to Eat Your Pancreas, which has a lot deeper meanings. This is kind of your just straightforward zombie film, but
Mm.
it flips it a little bit. It puts the characters on a train, whereas like in usual zombie films, they're just walking through town, and then
City out in the
yeah.
country.
So my favorite zombie film before this was actually Zombieland, which we've talked about before, and
Yep.
they're super different. Zombieland makes zombies a joke a little more. Well,
Pretty much. Homers.
this one takes them super seriously and kind of uh, but focuses on the characters. Both of these stories, Zombieland and Train to Busan, focus on characters over the story, which is I think is what drives a story usually and drives a narrative is the characters. So
Yeah.
having zombie films that focus on blood and gore over characters is not what we want out of a
Yeah.
movie. So yeah, and then I wrote I said the distance, keep some distance between you and the zomzoms, because they're right next to the zombies each time. The car with the zombies is right next to them.
Mm.
Um, but also here's the one when the dad says in the beginning, it's like at the beginning of when they're all running away from the zombies and they sit down for a little bit. Watch out for only yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That really frustrated me, but then the character sort of develops and changes his thoughts because he's pretty
Yeah.
much doing everything to save other people over himself.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. I was really glad with that. What is that called when the character changes their view? I'm pretty sure there's like
develops
yeah.
character development.
Is it that I thought I could have swore there's like a specific term for it, but I do like the character like just
I think there
you
might
know
be a term for it, but I just say
yeah
character development
yeah
because that's what you want in a story is the character to learn a lesson and kind of change. Um, Whereas in this story, it says he does say watch out for only yourself, but then at the end he sacrifices himself for other people. So he doesn't really watch out for himself. He's watching out for other people over himself.
mm-hmm.
Are you looking
Oh
for
wait, yeah I am.
uh Okay.
Dynamic character.
Dynamic character. Okay, yeah, it's a
Yep,
dynamic character. He's a dynamic character.
I remember. Yeah,
What's the term for a
he
flat
is a very
character?
dynamic character.
The character that's not
Uh,
dynamic doesn't change because that's the other businessman. He doesn't change.
yeah, I think it was the impact character. I think that was the other phrase that I saw in there.
Well, he's also sort of the antagonist the entire time. He lies and cheats to get
Right.
his way. Um,
Yeah.
Now I
You
want to
know,
talk about
smart move, but
yeah,
not the best move.
yeah. When you're a leader, you don't want to try to take control of somebody, like their feelings and
Hmm.
emotions, which is what he does.
Yeah.
He basically makes everyone turn on the main characters as they come
He's
back.
infected.
I want
Yeah,
to
that
get
was
your
terrible.
opinion on the tunnel scenes. The
Oh,
when
the
they're
tunnel scenes.
traveling to the
Those.
back.
Yeah, that was. I thought that was really neat how they portray that the zombies are just like a little bit more calm and they just cannot see in the dark. I thought that was really nice and they had the you know cell phone distraction. That was a really smart idea. They had him crawl over the luggage like luggage shelves or whatever in the train. I thought that was
The
really smart
carry
too.
on areas.
Yeah, the carry on, and just watching those cover scenes. I also like the parts where where they had left that door what's it called unlocked, right? But the zombies couldn't get through because they couldn't figure out how to work it. But they like wet down like some newspaper and like put it up there. That was really smart. I thought that was pretty a
What
nice little detail.
what I really thought was smart when they used the fire extinguishers. They use the
Oh yeah,
fire
yeah, I saw
extinguishers
that.
to frost
That
the
was really good.
glass. But then
Hmm.
again, if you've ever had ever sprayed a fire extinguisher, when you can breathe that stuff in, and then you'll have a
Yeah,
coughing fit because it's really bad for your lungs. But
right.
it's supposed to put out the
Yeah.
fire. But it's really smart that they kind of use that. It's also cool looking. It just looks better
Hmm.
than just okay. Let's throw some newspaper up on the thing.
Yeah.
Now with the tunnel scene, I did have a problem with it. Did you count how many
Hmm.
cars they went back in the train?
I did not count.
They went through like four of them. Three of them had zombies, and each like the first car they had the empty car, and then they had the
Yep.
car that was connected to that one. The broken glass in between the two. They had
Hmm.
zombies in the first one, like the medium amount, like probably like four or five. They had
Hmm.
one car with like two zombies in it, and then they had the car with like 17 zombies in it.
Yep.
When you come back, when they go back, they only climb through the top of the first car. They only climb the carry-ons on that car only, and then somehow they get all the way back to the first one. So these two disappear,
Hmm.
which I kind of bothered me because I wanted to see
Right.
some more of that. But the movie's an hour and
Mm.
51 minutes, and I think they spent so much time on that one scene they felt it unnecessary to do that. Which
Right.
yeah, it's pretty unnecessary, but I kind of like continuity. But
Right. Yeah. No. Yeah. I hadn't catch. I didn't catch that. But yeah.
also, what did you?
Now that you said it, yeah. I fucking am upset about that now.
Yeah,
Thank you.
sorry. How did you feel about when that zombie, like he's holding the door open? The husband is holding the door open, or not open, closed. You don't want the zombies to come in. He's holding it
Right.
closed, and then the zombie, his fingers just are slowly getting closer to the edge, and then when it touches the door, it's just the zombie comes out of nowhere, twists its head, and just. How did you feel when that
Uh.
happened?
Uh.
That was disappointing to me. I was like, man, you had one
Yeah.
job.
Yeah. That was pretty fucking bad. I hated that. It's fucking terrible.
Killing your
I
favorite character.
Yeah. That was fucking. And then fucking this man's is becoming infected and he's just like holding all the zombies back while they're trying to get into that other car, and he's fucking still holding them all back while they're all biting him and shit. And he's turning. I'm sitting there just like this guy should have made it to the end, and now he didn't. Now this is some shit.
Now,
Dude,
oh,
sorry,
go
go ahead.
ahead. Go ahead. I was going to ask a
No, I,
question.
I was so then we go out throughout the movie and then fucking our main character. Oh my God, that part when he got bit and then threw the our antagonist off the train, and then had a heart to heart with the pregnant woman and the his child, and then went to the back of the train engine, and it's just like standing there, and he's getting uh like some flashbacks before the end. And
Hmm.
I'm sitting there, I'm like, bro, this is that that got me. That got me actually. I was sitting there, there's a whole action movie. Everybody's dying left and right, and then fucking he's having like a moment where he has his baby, and he's sitting there and fucking, and then his eyes turn, and then fucking the music like composition, like the music soundtrack for this movie was so good. The when his shadow's like going off the train and the fucking music starts playing, I'm sitting there just like. I'm like, you can't do that to me, man. You can't do that to me. And then at the end of the movie when the pregnant woman and the girl are walking through the tunnel, and then the guys can't confirm a visual on them. I'm sitting there, I'm like, if these fucking guys shoot these two, I'm gonna real badly.
That's exactly how I was feeling. I was like, if you pull that trigger, man, I'm gonna. They went through all that crap, and then they're gonna die right
Yeah,
at the end. And then,
right.
of course,
They
the girl
lost
starts
so
singing.
much.
So,
Yeah, oh my God, that's the song that she was singing. It was translated because I watched the dub version, you watched the sub. Don't watch the dub version if you're gonna watch this movie. It's fucking terrible. Now that that's out of the way, uh, fucking oh my God, that there was one part like good part of the dub version, like hearing the girl sing. I was sitting there and I was just like this. It was like cherry blossoms and shit, and and it's like are blooming. I'm like this is so sad. What the fuck?
well, in the sub, they have
So
she's singing in Korean. So it's pretty hard to follow for me. The
yeah,
the
mhm,
Korean, I'm trying to piece together what she's
right.
saying in Korean with what the sub is saying, and it's a Hawaiian tune, isn't it? She's singing like a Hawaiian
Yeah,
song.
that's what it seemed like. Yeah, it was like it was like a low. Yeah, she the dub version she said aloha and then like ooh and then aloha ooh and I was it was so fucking sad. I was sitting there, I'm just like, come on, I can't watch this anymore.
Well, it's also the saddest callback, also just because her dad wasn't there to listen to her originally, and
Yeah,
he's not gonna be there at the end to listen to her,
yeah.
which is just like it's right in the heart, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it hit me really badly. That one random guy that they I think they found him at that train station. The
the
guy was like super rugged.
the hobo,
I Yeah, I think.
the
Yeah.
homeless
When
person.
he went Yeah, when fucking they were at the in the train yard, and the train's like falling over, and then the glass breaks, and then he goes up and holds them up. So then I'm like, please. I'm like, please, this is terrible. I can't watch this. Everybody's self-sacrificing. People are getting sacrificed by that fucking jackass. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is terrible.
Well, I think my
It was
second
so
favorite character was the homeless guy. Even though he barely says anything throughout the movie, he
right.
has
He
good
never see it.
intentions the entire time. He's
Yeah,
always trying to help the other people at the same time. And he's,
yeah,
of course, the only person on the train that knows about the zombies before any of the zombie outbreak happens on the train. Uh,
yeah.
yeah, and that another thing that really gets on my nerves is that first scene when they get on the train and then someone, just a crazy looking person, gets on the train bleeding and stuff. I'm like, no one's gonna stop this person. No one's gonna.
Yeah.
But the train conductor is
When they
stupid.
were when they were at that train station, and they're all going down the stairs, and fucking we can see like there's like military like attire and stuff. I would sit there, and I'd see all that, and then I would turn around, I'd turn my ass around and start going back up the stairs, cuz they should be flooding in, greeting us, sweeping the area. They're not gonna all be standing together like that. That was, once they all saw them standing down there together. It's not like they're having like the like the commander or sergeant of the that platoon or that regiment is like having a heart to heart with all of his comrades while all the zombie apocalypse is gone. They had that before they are deployed wherever they're going, right?
Hmm.
In the city that they went to, and they all go down there and they're all zombies. You sit there just like here we fucking go.
Yeah.
And the and then that's when fucking uh dad's like, look out for number one, look for out for yourself, and then the husband saves the man's daughter, right?
Hmm.
And I was sitting there, I'm like, see that? That's a good heart, you bastard. You're gonna I said to myself, I'm like, you're gonna learn this damn lesson by the end of the movie, I guarantee it, you bitch.
Uh,
And then he's in the lobby, he's got the book in the zombie's mouth, and then they closed the door for a second and let more people in. And he was sitting there
has a steel
just
book, and that's what's on the front.
oh yeah.
It's
I
him with
saw that
the
on the
it's him with the book right
mm,
in the mouth. I love that. It's
yeah,
such a smart
that
way
is
to smart
amazing.
play.
Right. Yeah, it was the dubbed version had that on the what's it called? As their like little thumbnail or whatever, and then the subbed version had just like, the regular like, the movie premiere picture or whatever.
Hmm.
And I was sitting there, I'm like, when I saw both of them, so I'm like, oh, what's the difference between these two? And I saw the dubbed version. And
Uh,
oh my God, that was a mistake. I feel like when you're gonna dub a movie, you need your like your voice, like your English actors, right? You like your English voice actors. You need them to watch the scenes that they are dubbing, because there is a lot of fucking stupid ass voice delivery throughout the entire fucking movie, especially from my favorite character. His voice actor was so bad. Fucking they were in the lobby, and once the homeless guy helped out the dad, right, and got that zombie off him, and he's running to the door, and then our favorite character, the husband's in there. The voice actor's like, come on up. I'm like,
you're breaking up, man.
it, it just the way he said it, it was so bad. I was sitting there, I'm like, hold on, and I rewind it. He's just like, come on, us, hold on. I'm sitting there, I'm like, did the English voice actors watch the damn scenes that they were doing, or did they send the studio, got handed a paper, and then got the lyrics, and then in like parentheses the emotion that they're supposed to convey there. Like, if I just feel like that every English like dub, like any English dub that's gonna be getting done, they need to uh they need to see the scene that they're gonna be delivering their voice lines for, because ooh, that was bad.
Well, we had that problem with "I Want to Eat Your Pancreas." Was it worse or better than "I Want to Eat Your Pancreas"?
Oh, it was so much worse. It
Okay.
was it was so bad. It was absolutely terrible. I was sitting there, I'm just like, oh my God. I have not seen such a bad dub ever. And like, my entire like, watching like, movies, animes and other shit. Not once have I seen something so bad. So that was unfortunate for me. But I didn't let that, get to me about like, oh, the movie's fucking ass now because the English voice actors just didn't try hard enough. Like, now, when I saw the movie, I was sitting there, I'm like, I got halfway through the movie, I'm sitting there, I'm like, I need to switch to the sub version because this dub is fucking shit. And then because the motion, just it was all over the place. It wasn't there. It was there when it didn't need to be there. And I was sitting, it was just so bad. I was like, goodness gracious, what is going on?
I watched the sub version,
Yeah,
so I wasn't I didn't force myself to watch it
Yeah,
dub.
lucky you. I should have watched the sub version. My dumbass is like, oh, it can't be that bad.
Um,
It was that bad.
so I'm trying to think of what I want to talk about. I already hit my list because I had a really short list for this movie. Usually I have a long list.
Mm. Yeah,
Like
no. This movie's pretty straightforward. It's just one of your like zombie flicks. Sound design was good. Costume design was good. I personally feel like the choreography for the zombies was a little overzealous.
the weird
A
like
lot of twitching. Yeah, that was a good.
it's
I
every
thought that scene was
zombie.
pretty cool. Right.
When the
No,
zombie
but
falls off and it's just this. It's literally the zombie.
yeah, and it's still going after them. That just portrays the zombies just like, oh, this thing's not gonna stop, right? I really like the costume design, the choreography for the zombies. It's okay. It has its moments. The moments that I'm talking about specifically is, oh my gosh, these zombies, they just keep on. They're just like constantly twitching, which I get. They're trying to push it on you like, hey, these people are no longer human. But I pretty much got that from, them biting humans.
Also the looks. They
They're
got white
the the
eyes.
the white eyes, right? Like the grayed out irises, and then like the veins and stuff, and they're more pale and stuff. But I already got it from that. I don't
Also,
need
not to mention
choreography twitching.
the blood around the mouth. You
Right? Yeah. And some of them have like blood around their mouth and stuff. Yeah. I don't need super fucking zombie twitching. I get it. It is good. It's good, but I think it was a little overdone in my opinion. But besides that, sound design is really good. What's it? The soundtrack I thought was really really good. The setting for all the for the throughout the movie, all the settings that they used, like all the sets, they're all had really really good lighting on it, right? And
well, they only really had to use one set for the majority of the film, and that's the
pretty
train.
much,
So,
right?
of
Yeah,
course,
I mean,
some of the scenes outside look a little like the green screen looks a bit funny in some of them. So, like when they're running away
it
from the
does.
horde, it looks a little funny. But
Yeah, I loved it when the fucking that was I thought that was a really cool little stunt that they did, or little nice via FX. Right, I'm not sure how they. I'm sure it was a little bit of both, but like they had like the zombies getting dragged by the train or whatever.
and they
And
jump
then
on each
they're
other.
right, and they're all like getting on each other, and there's one zombie that's fucking running on the fucking other ones. And I'm like, this. I'm like, that's pretty good. Like, it's a very original idea. I couldn't think of a movie that has done something like that. I've seen movies where people are like getting dragged by like the car, or fucking Spider-Man like holding onto the fucking back, whichever
You're breaking up again, man. That's
Spider, but just this is so obviously the train the filming on the train was actually done pretty well, I thought, for the limited space that they had, right? I thought that was pretty good.
yeah. One of the scenes I really liked was
But yeah, pretty much
oh, sorry. I didn't know. You're kind of lagging a little bit, so let me. You can.
was I'm sorry, you cut out. What was the scene that you liked?
You cut out also. So
Did I? Oh.
yeah. I really like that scene in the train yard. That's one of I think the best put together is where
Mm.
they got to cross this train full of zombies to get to the train that will take them to Busan. I really like that. That just adds so much
Right.
suspense because you're like, who's gonna die? Because someone's gonna
Yeah,
die.
that train yard scene was really really nice. That was like my favorite scene throughout the whole movie, even though that a lot of sad shit happened prior to it and fucking happened after it. Still a really good scene, well thought out by the director, having it in that area in the train yard. Really good work from the set design people and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I've
all around the. Sorry, go
I've
ahead.
said everything I have to say about the movie. It's just really
Yeah,
good.
I was just gonna I was just gonna say all around, it's just a really good zombie movie. I would definitely check it out. Make sure you do not watch the dub version. The dub version is fucking ass. Suck it up and watch the sub version, because if you watch the dub version, your opinion will probably get affected about the fucking movie. It was
Okay.
so bad.
Yeah, I don't recommend watching the dubbed version of anything. The sub version usually tends
Right.
to be better. Now,
Mm-hmm.
that changes if I'm at work or something and I just want to have something going. I'll go ahead and put on
Mm.
a dubbed version just so that I can.
Right.
But do you want to go ahead and review it?
Yeah.
I
I'm done.
have
Yeah.
I have my review. So I'd say for a zombie film, I'd say a 10 out of 10. This is probably one of the most like top tier zombie films I've ever seen. It's really well done. Zombies are well acted. There's a little too much twitching. I like how the zombies look. I like how it focuses on the characters more than the kills. But it kind of
Mm-hmm.
mixes good kills with the like the characters' stories. Because most of the time, whenever someone dies, it's related to some sort of character's fault. Like
Yeah.
getting off the train too early, getting off, like letting them in. There's always some sort of reason for someone to die, and it's always because of their fault. They're really stupid characters though. At some point, they make some stupid, awful decisions. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I'd say a 10 out of 10 zombie film. But overall, I'd say a 9. Just I'm gonna give it a 9 on like any other film, because there are some things I do not like, and I just can't think of them all the time. I don't like the green screen. I don't like some of the visual effects, but that's it's South Korea. They're not known for having like Hollywood movie making or Bollywood movie making, so they're not
Yeah.
known for movies all the time. But um, I'd give it a 9 out of 10, just straight up. So you want to go ahead and
Yeah.
give it your review?
Did you switch it from a 10 out of 10 to 9 out of 10?
10 out of 10 zombie movie, like zombie film, and then I'd say
Yeah.
9 out of 10 regular film because it's really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For this one, I will go ahead and give it a 9 out of 10. Not quite 10 out of 10. I'm not gonna do the two separate things. I'm just gonna give it overall a 9 out of 10. The the twitching was a little much for me. Um, the movie was good. Had a good plot. It was nice, easy flowing. Wasn't too slow. Wasn't too fast. What was it? Good character development and all that other good stuff. So that's why I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. The zombie twitching and the dub has affected my vote just a little bit. I have a feeling that this probably would have been an easy 10 out of 10 movie if I had watched the sub, but I did not. So I cannot say for sure whether or not I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 until I watch the sub. And maybe I'll let you guys know on the next episode if I ever get around to watching the sub version. So,
Okay, and real quick, we're gonna say our usual thing. Movies are subjective. You know
yep.
our reviews for it, but go ahead and review it yourself. It's on Shudder, Tubi. You can rent it places.
Yep. On
Uh,
Shudder.
Make sure that if you're renting it,
It's on Tubi.
make sure if you're renting it, get the subbed version, not the dub version,
Yep. Do not get the dub. Do
because
not get
that
the
will
dub.
probably ruin your experience. And
Yep.
should we give our recommendations? I'm gonna go ahead and say that I'm recommending Akira. I said Akira last week, but we had to push it back because Ty's moving and doing a lot of stuff, so
Yep.
he wasn't able to watch it. He was excited for it, so we pushed that back, and we're releasing this episode this week. So
Yep.
that's my recommendation.
So I'm choosing the movie for what's called next weekend, right? Or
Oh, we're watching Akira next weekend, and then we're gonna do your movie.
then it'll be mine.
If you want, we can record one next Wednesday, but we'll talk about that after.
Would we record would we record Akira? Is that what
Akira
we
on
would do?
Sunday. We'll do that live on Twitch.
Oh, on Sunday we're doing that live
Next
on Twitch.
Sunday, yeah.
Next Sunday. Okay, so not this coming Sunday.
No.
Okay. This will be premiered Sunday though. What's it? So my movie recommendation, since my pick's not here yet, and I assume Ty will be done moving, we'll be able to review the actual original RoboCop. It's the one I want to do. So hopefully, hopefully I won't have to change my movie recommendation. Hopefully Ty will be able to have a smooth move, but it's moving, so we won't know until he's done it. So if it needs to change, it will. But yeah, that's my recommendation would be RoboCop, the original one, not the new one.
Okay. So to keep up to date on the ones that we've mentioned, make sure to subscribe, like, comment what movies you want us to review and do an analysis about. Just try to keep up to date. We also stream on Twitch usually. This week we're not doing that. Usually I'll say if we don't do it. That's why you should follow me on Twitter to stay up to date with that stuff. Thanks for watching. Make sure to recommend us movies. We will take your recommendations anytime. Tweet at me if you have a recommendation also. Go ahead. Let's go ahead and end it. I can't say bye, Ty, this time.
Can't say bye, Ty. Ty's not here. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'll say bye to them. All right, okay. Fucking see you
say
later,
bye,
yo.
Austin.
Bye.
Thanks for watching.